I've clicked start. And yet again, the podcast is going to miss a bunch of top quality content that we've just been discussing.
Top quality, top secret, never to be said again.
Never to be said again. Exactly.
However, it's probably the pinnacle of this podcast.
Always is.
We're now downhill.
The last few weeks we've had great, and then someone's gone, oh, we should have been recording that.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh well. Has everyone got a drink or a snack? Is everyone prepared? Everyone good?
Everyone sitting comfortably.
So let's begin.
Run BT.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to New Dice Please, the bite-sized Blood Bowl podcast brought to you by the people at Blood Bowl Live. My name is Chris. Joining me, as always, Mr. Tom Hovell. Tom, what is your favourite animal that you might find at a zoo?
Oh, Christ. Koala.
Oh, have I seen a koala at a zoo? I must have done. Surely.
They're a dime a dozen.
They're everywhere.
They're
This
everywhere.
is littered with them.
Yeah.
And no Scott Bryant this week, but joining us very kindly to fill the void. You've seen him before. You've heard his hot takes. It's Mr. Tom Feakes. Tom, thanks for coming back. What's your favorite animal that you would see at a zoo?
I'm going to go platypus.
So good. Again, I don't know if I've seen a platypus at a zoo before. Is it just the zoos I'm going to?
It may be. I mean, I've never been to one where you're just tripping over koalas the entire time. But I have seen koalas there.
Clearly, we've just gone to Australian zoos. Though.
Yeah. You're missing out, Chris.
To be fair, if Tom, if you turned around and you went, yeah, I've actually got a story about when I was traveling in Australia and accidentally ended up in like a koala rescue center, like I wouldn't be surprised. Like no longer surprises me. Mine, I'm going to go polar bear. I like a good polar bear, and there's polar bears around here, and they're wonderful. That's right. I live in the Arctic. Anyway, not talking about zoo animals this week. No, instead, although Scott isn't here, we're not doing hot takes because we've heard Tom's hot takes already. So instead, we are back to I think I previously described it as the dead horse we continue to beat. It is league friendly Stomp. I've got 3 teams here that I'm going to throw at Mr. Feakes and throw at Mr. Hovell, and we're going to see which one they will take to a full-on league season, love and cherish and skill up. Which one are they taking for a one-off fling in a tournament, and which one is going under the bottom of their boot? Tom and Tom do not know what teams that I have prepared for them. I was having a ponder on this one, and I decided to go for 3 teams that I feel are roster-wise quite similar. There's lots of comparisons you can draw between the 3. So I think they're quite similar rosters, which I think might make them quite tricky to kind of move around. There's a few kind of different skills involved, and I think actually I feel like maybe the way that you skill them and stuff is maybe what differentiates them. So the 3 teams that you have got to pick from this week are Nurgle, Khorne, and Chaos Chosen.
Ooh.
So 3 teams where kind of roster-wise, positional-wise, there's a lot of similarities in the kind of players that go across them. I hope you've both got 2 books to hand, because they're not the rosters aren't just in one book, because Khorne are annoyingly in the 2021 almanac. I will, as I normally do, I give you guys a little bit of time to think, and I tell you my initial thought. And it might not be a surprise for anyone who knows the kind of teams I have or some stuff that I've done, but I am going to go Chaos Chosen as my league team. And it's probably the easiest one, because I think it's the only, gut says it's the only one of those 3 teams that I would kind of tolerate for the longest period of time. And I think that the Chaos Chosen Beastmen are the best beastmen in the best lineman in the game, the best default lineman. I just think like they've got your kind of average stats, but the horns that they've got mean you've got a team of blitzers out the box compared to most other teams. I think if you had an all lineman fest where you could only ever you could only bring a team and only bring their linemen, I think Chaos Chosen win 9 out of 10 times.
Yeah, I agree on that. Yeah, they are very vanilla though. The team is.
What? In what? Why? Why? Because there's only 4 different positionals, and 2 of them it's one or the other. No. Yeah.
You've got 3 big guys. You can. Can you have all 3 big guys?
No, you can pick one of the 3.
Yeah.
So you can either pick the Minotaur or the Ogre, or is it a Troll?
Troll. Yeah. Troll, Ogre, Minotaur. And
let's face it, you're choosing the Minotaur.
Well, this is what I would always think. But then in our league, we've had a very successful Chaos Chosen team that now always pick the Ogre because they've built a Beastman to be a better blitzer than the Minotaur is.
They managed to stat up.
No, it's not stat increased. It's not stat increased, but it's got horns and claws and tackle and block and mighty blow, and it's edge 2, it's movement 7. So it's a better blitzer than it's a more consistent blitzer because you don't need to roll Unchanneled Fury.
Yeah, that's true. How long has it taken to get there though?
5 seasons.
5, yeah. That's a long time to put in with what starts off as, I agree with Tom, quite a vanilla team. And to be fair, I think for a league, I quite like the starts of a vanilla team. But playing that for 5 seasons, I don't think I could.
Thing is, I would go in with all Beastmen. I'd go I wouldn't take any chosen blockers. I'd save the money. I'd take all Beastmen. I'd take the Minotaur, and I'd take some rerolls. And I would kind of try and. I think it's the perfect team if you want to create your own positionals from scratch. I don't think there's any other team that has as good linemen that you immediately can be like. They can have strength skills to kind of make them nice and beefy. They can have mutations, so you can get a lot of. You can get a lot of kind of the edge stuff that you need on pickups and catches and dodges and stuff through that. The perfect one. But Mr. Hovel,
for my league.
Well, no. What are you doing with Chaos Chosen?
Ooh, Chaos Chosen. I'm actually going to stomp them on the base.
Fuck.
Yeah.
After my impassioned speech, and then you go and put them under your foot.
But what you're missing is your impassioned speech push them down the list.
Down the list. Yeah.
Come on, justify yourself.
The other 2 are more interesting to play. So, again, so I can go through all where the other 2 sit. Might give you
no. You tell me the problem. Is it just that they're uninteresting, or is there a different problem with?
I think it is. I think it's the fact is that for a friendly, they just don't have the fun factor for me. For league, like we've just said, you can skill them up, but it's going to take you a while to get somewhere with them, and they are very kind of, as we've said, vanilla, meaning that they really play one particular type of game. There's no kind of real randomness with them. You kind of know what you're going to do with them, and that kind of scenario from my perspective. So that's why I'm like, the 3 teams are very good teams, and that's where it's become quite difficult to kind of put them as a stomp. But the other 2 just pick them on the other 2 categories for me.
All right, Feakes, come on then. What are you doing with your Chaos Chosen?
Despite me criticizing you a bit there, Chris, I would league them as well.
Okay.
But not necessarily because of how good they are, but just for me where the other two sit. I agree. No, they are a vanilla roster to start off with, and they're a good team if you are getting into Blood Bowl. They're a good team to try out because they play relatively simplistically. I was just looking on my phone. The fact the linemen get mutations on primary, that could be a lot of fun over a league.
And I know that any second now we're going to start talking about Nurgle, and the argument of the fact that Chaos Chosen linemen can get mutations will be thrown out the window. But
Just to put it out there, all three teams all get mutations on primary.
But the linemen aren't as good. I think that's the thing. The Marauder linemen and the Rotters are
terrible.
poor when it comes to. So well, let's. Okay, Tom. So out of interest, as you're putting these as your league team, then I'm interested as to where you're putting Khorne, because you have just played a season of Khorne in a league.
Yeah.
So where are you putting Khorne?
I have struggled with knowing where to put them because I have a love-hate relationship with Khorne. Like you say, I've just got them. I'm running them in league. I've got my first playoff match against Vamps in a couple of weeks. I'm gonna lose. It's taken a whole group stage. I still don't quite know how to play Khorne well. It hasn't fit my style. It hasn't worked. There's too much frenzy, and if a lineman didn't have frenzy as well, I think they would be an absolutely fantastic team. But they're a combat team that's hard to manage combat with, if that makes sense. They want to be punching through you, but also they can't. But it's a lot of fun to play in a one-off game, just purely if you're going for fun and you're just going for, I'm going to see how many players I can surf. And that's just going to be fun. And also, another reason I've got a love-hate relationship, but I don't know how well you'll be able to see it. My favorite ever model I've painted is my Bloodspawn.
That is a nice looking Bloodspawn, to be fair.
It's really nice. It was just really satisfying one to paint, so I feel like I can't put him that far down.
So you're putting them as tournament then?
Yeah,
as friendly.
As friendly. They would be fun, and it's the sort of team I would recommend everyone to give a shot to, just to understanding frenzy and understanding slow positioning works well. They can be painful to take over a league because I've found they're so reliant on cash. If your dice don't play ball, you have no. It's like you probably do. There probably is a second layer to them that I haven't found, but I really struggle to have that plan B with them.
Mr. Hovel, I think I know where you're going to put them, but where are you putting them?
I'm putting them as a friendly as well.
I suspected so.
Yeah. I've played. Well, we've got a large number of Khorne coaches in the current league.
Yes.
And all of which have got different levels of strengths and abilities and everything like that. They are, as you say, they're. I've never played them myself, but I've often played against people who get caught out with the frenzy, as Tom's quite rightly said, where they've gone to go, 2-die block there. Oh, hang about. I'm now 2-die uphill kind of thing, or 1-die now. So they seem to be one of those kind of ones that potentially they can get out of position very quickly because of a frenzy and move things around. The Bloodspawn, I've never heard a good thing about them. I think the Bloodspawn is kind of vying for worst big guy next to probably the Yeti and the Vargeist that I've heard. That literally once they're down, they're forever just staying down and not really doing anything. But they do seem quite. I'd be interested in having a go with them, having a play and seeing what they can do. Obviously, they've got the horns as well. In fact, I think all three teams have they've all got a goat of some kind in them. So that's that's where I'm going to put them. I'm going to put them there because this is a little bit more fun to use other than Chaos Chosen.
So interestingly, looking at, because our season has a lot of a lot of Khorne this season, and I am now just running through and looking at these rosters, and I don't think any of the Khorne rosters this season
Have a
Bloodspawn.
No,
Everyone has avoided them. Everyone has gone for maximum positionals, rerolls, apox. It's quite similar across the board. Skills are very different, but no one wants that Bloodspawn.
And I kind of don't blame them. I like I said, I've got a soft spot for my Bloodspawn. He's my top cash guy. He is the destroyer. However, it's only really been since he's got Garden Block, and I was lucky with MVPs with him that he's really started to ramp it up. Those first few bits, there's been a few matches where he's just been gone because that AV9 is not great. And like you say, once he's down, he's blitzing to get up, and it's like I don't always want to use my blitz just to get him up, and then you're stuck.
Yeah, because you just stick a lineman next to him while he's down.
Yeah,
just leave him there. Yeah.
He's quite easy to neutralize.
I am putting Khorne firmly under my boot.
How dare you?
I just want the venom out of my eyes across the camera.
Even after you thrashed me with your lizards the first time I gave them a try.
Yeah, my lizards were happy to stamp on them. I don't know. I think maybe I just don't get it. I think they are, as far as the league goes, like all of that friendly, I think can be very difficult. Then they're not a team to get started with. They're not like a starter team. We were discussing this on our Monday night roundup this week that they're not an easy team to pick up when you get started because you can end up all over the pitch with frenzy, and it's a lot of calculating to do. I think if you're then looking at like taking a team for a friendly, I mean, yeah, I can see that they could be quite fun, and I could see maybe they would be more fun than Nurgle if you were like just do a 1 million friendly. But hey, do a friendly game and allow yourself some skills and more money, and then immediately you're ditching Khorne because you're immediately then like looking at other teams that are more fun to skill up. I just don't. Yeah, I think I just don't really get it. I think is a problem. I think the linemen aren't strong enough for my liking, and I would much rather those linemen were basically humans and get rid of the frenzy, but give them armor 9, so they're a bit beefier. I think, like you said, Feakes, they feel like they should be beefier, but actually, all of those linemen are quite squishy, and your Bloodseekers are quite expensive. And if you're going through a league and you lose some of them, you can very quickly, like, if you're missing next game on a couple of those strength 10, armor 10 Bloodseekers, I think you can find yourself in trouble really quickly. So
yeah,
they're not for me. They're not for me.
I have no comeback to that other than I completely understand that. The linemen for me, they are too squishy. I just haven't seemed to be able to keep this league. I just haven't seemed to be able to keep enough on the pitch to the point where goblins and gnomes have been able to 2-die my Bloodseekers because my linemen have just been wiped off the pitch. And it's like, but it's because there's nothing really to them.
Well, this means then, Mr. Hovel, that you are taking Nurgle for a league run.
Yeah, I think I'm doing that on the basis that I've seen other people playing them in our league. Love the randomness on all the mutations. They've always fascinated me because these three, I think, are the only 3 teams that can take mutations, if I'm right. No, you got Underworld as well. Yeah. So yeah, and they're not a lot of people know exactly what those skills can do, and I think that sometimes kind of upsets people and kind of like, oh, crummies, like tentacles, for example, is a nightmare. And you get that the standard on your rot spawn and everything. The other thing kind of made me sway, yes, I want to play them in league, is that not only is the Games Workshop figures a really nice sculpt, but there's also some fantastic like other ones out there, and they just look so nice and they look so good, and I would just want to get them and paint them. And that's another part of what I like about playing in the league, is that you get a team. Unfortunately, at the moment, I've got humans, and I'm like, they're so boring. They look so naff when I'm going up against some fantastically well painted teams. I can never paint to that standard, but it's just nice to have a team with a bit of character in them. And I think that's something that Nurgle have, is they have a lot of character. Yes, they're not going to potentially be that easy to play in a league, but at least you can have a little bit of fun with them.
It was tricky not to put them as league. I think we discovered this when we did the elves, when we looked at the 3 elf teams, that I quite like a team that I feel I can shape and have, and maybe has a little bit of versatility kind of to them. So I like how vanilla Chaos Chosen are, which is why I went for them. It was difficult not to go Nurgle because, like you said, so I'm looking at the lineup for a team called the Tetanus Hotspews, who stuck to only ever, I think there's one chosen skill on here, and everything else was a random mutation. And some of the players in this team are incredible. So it was the first team in league history to get the status of being a legend. The Pestigore has horns, plague ridden, regeneration, big hand, extra arms, 2 heads, very long legs, prehensile tail, and foul appearance. So you can't punch it. It's blitzing on a fall. It's picking up and dodging on 2s pretty much all the time. I think it's catching on 2s as well. It's an incredible positional, and that's just all random because there's not really very many random mutations that aren't brilliant. I'm now making myself think I have made the wrong decision, so I now need to backtrack and say how good they are in a friendly. They're annoying. If you're playing a friendly against someone, all of that disturbing presence is very annoying. Like if someone's like, I'm going to play elves and I want to play a passing game, and you go, great, I'm going to bring my Nurgle and I'm going to place them around, and you're not going to pass for shit. I think they can be quite frustrating. I think they're less temperamental than Khorne, because they don't have all that frenzy, but you've still got the horns, which is fun. The big guys are beefier because they're strength 10. Everyone's armor 10. Everyone's at least armor 9. I think they're nice. I like, but I've dug myself a hole and I'm going to shut up. Tom Feakes, are you putting these under your shoe then?
I am, and I'm sticking by you. You have almost swayed me there, Chris, because it did make me think.
I swayed myself. I really messed this one up, Tom. Honestly,
let's just roll it back and start the whole thing
just start again.
Yeah, you did almost swing me around, but yeah, I'm gonna stomp on them. I've never played Nurgle. I've played against them online and a couple of times in person. For me, there's the enjoyment factor of I don't enjoy playing a team that just frustrates the other person, and I don't enjoy being the person that just gets frustrated. And I am primarily an edge coach, so I am gonna be a little bit biased here. I think they definitely do have a place, and I was torn. I could see you taking them for a friendly, particularly if you've got enough to get some mutations in there. If you're allowing a few skill ups, there's an argument for me swapping Khorne and Nurgle over, because I think the principle's probably the same. You probably want to get an experience of playing both. Yeah, the armor is better than Khorne, and that is kind of swaying me just a little bit. But yeah, for me, I think I would rather have a go to a game of Bloodbowl playing Nurgle or playing against them. I'd rather go there and think I'm going to have a good time whether or not I win or lose, rather than being like, I want to do this. No, you can't. I want to do this. No, you can't. But having said that, running Necro in a league, foul appearance has already saved my ass a few times. So it's quite satisfying.
They are slow, I think, is one kind of is a big downside. Like Nurgle are slow. Like movement 4 on the rot spawn and the bloaters, movement 5 on the linemen, movement 6 on the pestigores. It's not a quick team, and I like a quick team.
Yeah, but then they are doing what they're meant to be doing. So you put the bloater and rot spawn on the line, they just stay in the middle of the pitch, just jamming it up with both of them actually have, you know, foul appearance, but also disturbing presence as well. Which again is one of those annoying ones where you're just like, oh, I'm just going to blitz that. No, oh, it's a 1. I've just lost my blitz, kind of thing. And then you've obviously got your rotters. Yeah, so you kind of got like a bit of a decaying dwarf team really without the block and tackle. On the because you've got the rotter linemen that can move around, and you've got the pesticles running around the outside. So it's quite interesting. And you've also got regen and also plague ridden as well, which is some, again, sorry, Tom, I quite like being annoying.
Remind me never to play you. No, I get that, and I think there is the same argument I use for Khorne for everyone to experience it. I think, like, personally, like, I'm the same as you, Chris. I like a quick team. I like an edge team. I would learn a lot from playing them. So there definitely is a place for them. I kind of feel bad for that's the other thing Tom, you mentioned about the GW sculpts and everyone. They are beautiful. They are really beautiful. But on the flip side, for me, I can't paint them as well as I would like to.
No. Yeah.
So that's another reason for me to stomp them, because I would look at them and constantly be jealous of what everyone else has done.
Yeah, I've got a pack next door that every now and again I open up and go, oh, no, put them away.
Yeah. I'm listening to what you guys are saying, and I'm now like, I swayed myself to then being like, oh, maybe I should have taken them as my league team. And now I'm thinking, oh, should I have stomped on these guys? Because they're really slow, which I hate. They're not very edge, which I'm not. And also, they are, and I've experienced this, they are throw teammate killers. Because you can have a line of your disturbing presence on the line, and you can cover the whole front of the field with your disturbing presence, and then it makes the one turner so much more difficult, because you've either got to go into that field and make it more difficult for your whatever it is to land, or you've got to throw from a lot further back, and then it makes the one turner more difficult. And I love a one turner, really screwed this up this weekend. This week.
Also, I think apart from Snotlings, if I'm not mistaken, they are one of the cheapest linemen as well, 35k.
They are they're definitely the cheapest not stunty linemen.
Yeah, they're the cheapest not stunty linemen. So yeah, so you could have like quite a few on the pit. Well, a load of backups, load of reserves in like a league. Quite
they
easy.
are rubbish, aren't they? Though, like movement 5,
but
edge 4, passing 6, decay, plague ridden. They are rubbish.
They are quicker than zombies, though. Except for the decay and plague ridden. The zombies have got regen. They're quicker, but they're all the same stats, I think.
I am surprised that they're not. That the linemen maybe don't have regen too.
But then, yeah, that is odd. But it's interesting because you could just use them just to soak up dice rolls, can't you? That's effectively what they're going to be there for.
And you can gain them through the season from your opponent, because I'm looking at this roster here, and one of the linemen is called Danny LaSquish, who was my gutter runner that was killed in the quarterfinal and taken onto this team. So
Right,
he exists.
That's enough of a reason for you to put him in Stomp, Chris. Come on.
He was my worst gutter runner, but
He's
loved
still
him.
a gutter runner.
There was some hopes that Danny LaSquish would then be killed by a undead team and then be taken onto them or taken onto a vampire team. And we wanted to see how many different teams Danny LaSquish would end up playing for over the course of a couple of seasons. Unfortunately, it didn't happen, but hey, he was a good egg. Anyway, well, if you're listening and you think we've all made wrong decisions, if you love Khorne, if you hate Nurgle, if you love Nurgle and you hate Khorne, if you're completely indifferent about Chaos Chosen, let us know. Hey, Tom, if people want to let us know what they thought of our choices and want to find where we do whatever we do, how can they get in touch and where can they find us?
Yep. So you can email us at newdiceplease@gmail.com. We love to hear from you on that, and you may even get a mention on a future podcast. We often sometimes do a mailbag, and we've had some fantastic ideas and suggestions for other kind of episodes. You can get us on the socials at New Dice Please on Instagram. And also, if you want to see us, we're on YouTube under Bloodbowl Live. And obviously, you can hear us and get hold of us on all the podcasts.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Mr. Hovell. Thank you very much for joining us, Mr. Feakes. Thank you, everybody, for listening. We have been New Dice Please, and we will see you next time.